Hey, you there. Thank you for watching and welcome to Force Lines Forever. Today I have a 6v6 custom match here on the most amazing Neuroxis map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1 up here to the north section of the map, and then with Team 2 down here in the southern section. Starting off with the rear guard air slot player up Team 1, it is Kyle Dawson going first land as an Aeon in Pac-Man Yellow, and he is a 1200 to his southwest. We have the player of Kane going first land as a Cybern in Light Oak Tan, and he is a 1700 going second land as well. To his northwest, we have the Royal Blue player of Hichi. I think that's how you say that, going first land as another Aeon, and he is a 1400. Down here in the southwest, we have the player of Man Bet going first land as a Cybern as well in Ruby Red. Very sensible choice for the Cybern faction, and he is a 1400. In the north section of the map, we have Lox Poig. I'm going to call him Lox for short, going first land as a third Aeon for Team 1. And he is in Rust, and he's also a 1500 going first land, second air most likely. Last but not least, for Team 1, we have the Sevi Crimson player of Seraphim Com. Very sensible naming scheme because he is a Seraphim. He's going first air in Sevi Crimson, and he is a 1200. So for Team 1 side of things, I'm going to slow down just so I don't miss anything. We have 3 Aeon, 2 Cybern, and 1 Seraphim. No access to UEF technology for Team 1. Down here in the southwest section for Team 2, we have the Emerald Green player of HTTP. You'd like the colon and the dash dash. We have going first land as a Cybern, and he is a 1000 rated player. Going in the northeast, we have Colloquial Klaus. He is going first land in Snow White as a Seraphim and going land all day to his west, and he is a 1300. And southeast of him, we have Wackle Contact, or call him Wackle for short. He's going first land as an Aeon, probably second air, most likely, maybe second land, but most likely second air. And he is in Batman Gray and a 1400. In the middle here for Team 2, we have Orman der Ritter, or Ritter for short. He's going first, second, third, fourth land. And he is in Glow in the dark green, and he is a 1600. In orange, the color orange, we have Telemazer. He is a Cybern, very fitting name for him. I wonder if he will Telemazer this game. We have 1. He's going first land, second air, third. It's more like second land, third air. And again, he is a Cybern at a 1600. And last but not least, for Team 2, in lightish red pink, we have Taka going first, second land, third air as an Aeon. And he, again, is in lightish red pink as an Aeon, and he is a 1600. So I think for the first time in a while, there are no UEF players. My heart hurts for the fact that there isn't a single UEF player in this game. But for Team 2, we have 3 Cyberns, 1 Seraphim, and 2 Aeon. So almost the exact same makeup for both teams. There's 1 Seraphim for both teams. There is 3 Aeon for Team 1, and there's 3 Cyberns for Team 2. So we'll see how that splits the difference here in this game. Let's speed it back up to 0, and let's go ahead and get on some reclaim action here. We have currently on the map 37,000 reclaim. Probably was like 38, maybe close to 40,000. Per player. So let's guess 40,000, so that amounts to about 4,000 per player. That's a decent chunk of mass for everybody. Not that everybody's going to get that amount of mass, but it's still nice to think about everything being distributed evenly, which it never will be in FAF. And in terms of mass point layout, well, there is a decent amount in the middle, and there's a decent amount kind of on the outskirts of the bases here for both teams, but really there's not a whole lot to fight over. There's a couple of plateau positions that our players can grab. We also have a group of 3 mexes on the the lower portion next to that plateau. So nice kind of vantage point for those plateau players to be able to launch some artillery at that position. But so far, Team 1 has secured that upper plateau that should be in Team 2's hands. Kane is starting to exert his presence here on the southern portion of the map, going after some engineers. There are some Aurora nearby to help thwart his efforts. That engineer will die. The Mantis could probably just run in and kill both of those Aurora, but there are intercepting forces from Team 2's player of Telemazer as well, so those units will die pretty quickly. We have units inbound here from Locks from the north. There's a couple of these flares that are going after T1 Mechs and engineers. The comm of Colloquial Klaus has to start plugging up those holes. And there's a lot of avenues for our players to attack with. Even on this western side, we have 1, 2, 3 ways that either player can attack. Essentially, 2 of the ways meet in a head over here. But there is still a secondary way over here. I feel like a lot of combat will happen with these western side just due to the fact there's a couple of mexes in upper plateau area, lower, vantage point, not vantage point, but lower section that the plateau can go after. And I don't see much of any, I don't know, it's going to be hard because our players are going to probably struggle with that verticality a little bit in the beginning because some players will get the plateau, some players won't, and they'll be disadvantaged because it's not super high, but it does make a difference with Team 1 units. They'll have to rely on artillery units to be able to shoot anything on that cliffside. But Toka is pushing forward with his commander, taking out those preliminary units from Kane. And we're starting to line up that kind of 50-50 spread of the map in terms of mass per second. We have 244 for Team 2 and 208 for Team 1. Nice little lead for Team 2. That, again, it's still 7 minutes. It's not the worst thing on the planet if you're a couple points down in mass in that beginning stages of the game. It's mainly when it hits about the 30 or 40 minute mark. If you're like down 300, 400, 500, it really starts to take a toll. But being down, 20 or 30 is not a big deal this early on. At least my opinion, of course. Gun speed and range going down here for Manfet in the middle of the map. T2 very much right after that. Oh, it was canceled. Never mind. He's going to move first. I don't know where Lox is going, but we'll have to check on him pretty soon. We do have a 2v2 scenario going down here for the eastern side. And interestingly, we have neither of the players going for the upper plateau. They are starting to in the middle section here for the player of Manfet. And there's a couple of, rocks and other mass up here. But really what it does offer is the verticality advantage of being able to shoot artillery and missiles kind of from the safety of this plateau and not being overrun. But large split in forces here for Manfet. They're going after units here from the player of Orim, or Derritter, I should say. I'll call him Ritter for short. I have to remember my own nicknames for everyone. And these units to the west are holding off this push of a bunch of flares. Flares are very weak. They are very fast, though. But in these kind of tight-knit scenarios, not really that effective, unfortunately, here for the player of Ritter here in the middle section. We also have movement here to the east. Look at this. We're starting to see some pushback here from Taka on this eastern edge of the map. He's going after Kane's forces. He wants to try to split his attention and allow time for his main forward operating base to come online. We can see some engineers kind of, actually edging out Reclaim against this engineer. Very, distance, not distance build, but distance reclaim. Stealth on the way here for Manfet in the middle with Locks going for T2 once again. Don't know why he canceled it, but he decided better of it. I don't know why there's a bunch of text at the top. There it goes. Nope, it's there again. You can see at the top of my screen there's some text. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't see anybody going for... It looks like those are upgrades, but I don't know who for. No one's going for any upgrades. I don't know what that's about. We have Wacko on an upgrade. That could be something like that. He isn't gun. I don't know what he has. I don't know why there's a visual glitch. Apologies for that. Sarah from Com building some more Ilshis and pushing that western side for his team. We have Wacko riddled to the spot with the comm of Colloquial Klaus in the middle here. A big open area that Team 2 kind of just let happen. We have, again, layered defenses going down for Ritter in the middle, at least on this eastern side. He's been pushed back on both sides, kind of being hemmed in around this upper plateau area. Team 1 is in full control of that, not letting anything land up there. We are seeing some artillery be able to shoot something up there, but trying to get close enough. There goes a shot. Does it hit that intel installation? Yes, it does, and we'll kill it in one shot. Nice grab here. The other one goes down as well. Team 1 is kind of blind in the middle, but the calm of Manfet with his stealth and gun will push against Ritter here on the western side of that plateau. His forces are going to group up and then move in once those reinforcements arrive. Kane is pushing as well, but he's also dealing with this push by Toka to the east. So a lot of back and forth there on both sides of the map. We have, I think, Team 1 getting the better end of it, where the middle and western sections of the map are kind of starting to fall under their control. This position here for Colossal Klaus has been vacated. The units in from these Ilshis are pushing them further and further back, and the Ilshis are getting further and further in Team 2's main base, but a couple of Corsairs will deal with those Ilshis. Ritter with his forces will have to retreat. He's trying to hold the eastern side. He's doing a pretty good job of it. It is Mantis v Mantis, so no range advantage, no hit point advantage, just straight on strategy here. But Manfet is really getting the better end of the stick here. We'll secure the entire area surrounding that upper plateau. I wouldn't be surprised if he builds some missiles or artillery up there here pretty soon. Gun damage and range done here for Toka. Now he has the Aeon Sniper Commander. We have a distance build from the player of Kyle going after these AA defenses, but it does not work. Trying to build some Oblivion turrets as we speak, but is getting it better. Not getting a better end of it. It's able to do more damage than the PD is being built. We have a constant push here now from the eastern side. Toka is starting to be pushed back. PD trying to do what he can to hold off. Radar does go down. We have Dawson just constantly trying to do what he can to just occupy Toka's attention. Shield is on the way for him. Forces are starting to retreat on that eastern side. Of course, now Manfred is surrounded in the middle here. Ritter is on an upgrade. He's about to finish that and now going for stealth. Team 2 starting to plug that hole on this western side, but it's such a huge area and there's hardly anything in defense. Just one Utashala, and now Manfred is completely surrounded. He needs to retreat or get a transport in there. T1 bombers coming in to try to assist, but I think it might be a little too late. And Wacko commits. He control K's. Where is he? In his main base? I don't even know. Oh, he's right here. I don't know why he control Cade. I always have... Wait at least 2 minutes. Ice is trash anyway. Kick him. Oh, it looks like he has some connection issues. Wackle is cry. Yeah, I think there's some connection issues here for Wackle. Very disappointing to see a comm have to vacate because of connection issues, or other issues in the real world with air quotes. But definitely gonna hurt. But Manfit, it's gonna hurt. And essentially, when the game goes in Team 1's favor, we kind of knew Manfit was out the door. There he goes, Team 2's player of HTTP, or the internet, as I'll probably just call him, will secure a kill. And now it is tied up a 5v5 game. We have now the departure of Wacko will embolden the forces from Seraphim to push forward. Colossal Klaus is under threat from some Ilshis. He has an Utashala. That will die very quickly, unfortunately for him. It's starting to look bad for him. He is almost 50% of his hit points, but those Ilshis are pummeling into him. He's building his own units to come and assist, but it doesn't look good here for Team 2's player of Colossal Klaus. He needs those Corsair reinforcements from his teammate, but they are not coming, and he is slowly falling. He's in the red now. PD, he's trying to make it to that position. He stops very briefly. It's not going to go well for him. Oh, if he didn't stop, he might have been able to make it back in time. Sub 1,000 hit points. Gets a crucial rank in veterancy. Sub 4,000 hit points versus 1,000 is definitely a lot better. He will survive to tell the tale. That was very close to Team 2 losing another player on that western side. Now it's all quiet. There are forces moving in to secure that area here for Team 1 on that western side. Team 2 essentially kind of having, nice negotiations with their enemies, trying to just hold which player holds what. But Kane is being under threat from the Aeon Sniper Commander of Toka. He has the first shield, not the heavy shield, but better than nothing. There are some hoplites inbound to take out that commander, but it doesn't really go well for them because the commander of Toka does have a nice range. You can see the range at which he can shoot those versus Kane's forces, which still can shoot him. I think it's about the same range, but the commander has more hit points and can do more damage quicker. Corsairs go for a snipe attempt on Kyle Dawson, and they miss a lot of shots. There is a lot of AA in the area. It'll kill a lot of these Corsairs. There are ASFs about to guard and go after these ASF out from the rushed player of Locks. Dawson does not end up getting killed, but he is severely wounded. We have a couple of blazes here to the east, kind of just skating by on that eastern side of the map. That comm of Toka constantly pushing his advantage with that Aeon Sniper Commander. We have some PD starting to be in range as well, but of course it's Cybran, so it's kind of just a tickle at this point. We have the comm of Kane also nearby building some PD. Team 2 starting to gain more ground on this eastern side while they lose ground on the western side, somewhat due to the Colossal for the comm. But Ritter, emboldened by the fact his opponent is gone, is now pushing forth. We do see T3 bricks on the field here for Kane in the middle. And now we see the emergence of T3 technology in most of the phases, not all phases of the game, at least in terms of land and air. But Team 1, no, Team 1 has it. So we have 3 players on Team 1 going air. Team 2 has 2 players with an additional T3 player in the back. The old base for Wackle, I think it was this. Yeah, it was this one over here. But the Aeon Sniper Commander has some assisting Loyalists, very interestingly. I think those would have been gifted over. I don't think he has access to Cybran Tech. Yeah, he had those gifted over to him probably by Telemazer. They can micro those forces a lot better. We do see a couple of Loyalists just for him just kind of march along this western edge of the east. More units coming in to engage. A couple of T2 Ilshis under threat from T1 and T2 Rhinos. It's gotta hurt. And a huge column of units trying to circumvent this plateau area. The column of Klaus back in the yellow needs Nano on that commander right now, but it's starting to engage and intercept those forces. Units coming in from Ritter coming in to assist as well. They're gonna run head in. I think these forces might do a little bit of damage, but might get a couple of T2 mexes, but that's really about it. Not a huge advantage gained in that regard. We have those Loyalists still pushing forth, but a couple of bricks will deal with those right quick. No need to worry on that front here for Team 1. Is there anything going on up here? We have a couple of Harbingers just hanging out up there, which is kind of weird that they're going that way. What's going on in chat? Sorry, misclick says Locks. Fast, I drop. Stealth harms. Oh, looks like he misclicked? I don't know what's going on there, but now he's going to divert those to the front line, I would assume. Huge NT force over this group of units out from Kane. And they're going after a lot of build power here. That's got to hurt. Those engineers are just trying to make a living. And more blazes appearing. It's going to be a T2 versus T2 affair here. We have Rhinos and Hoplites versus Blazes and Shields. I think if Team 2's player of Toka went for Obsidians, it'd be a lot better. Because the hover isn't really needed on a desert map. You really need water. And speaking of water, there is none on this map. So for those who hate Navy, there is no water. And you can't hide a comm in the water either, because literally does not exist. Toka has at least moved to the western side with some bricks from his teammate coming in to assist, and Harbingers making their way on the field as well. We have to the west a lot more pushback here from Klaus, starting to hem in Team 1's player of Seraphim Comm in this northwestern section of the west. We also have a large wall section being built by Locks to prevent any incoming enemy threats. We have more bricks coming in. They'll probably target either this position for Ritter or go straight for that comm. Klaus has not gone for that upgrade yet for his Nano. Probably should. He is getting 38 per second, which is pretty good for a non-upgraded, Nano repair-focused commander. But probably needs to do that right quick. We do see that force from Team 1's player of Kane push through the ranks and get a lot of damage done on these forces. A couple of Corsairs over the top here for the internet or HTTP. I did know at one point what that stood for. It's like hypertext something protocol. I know the P is protocol. I think it's hypertext telecommunication protocol, maybe? No, it's something like that. Anyway, I know somebody will let me know down in the comments what it stands for. Oh, I'll probably just look it up after the cast one or the other, or probably both, honestly. We see, again, not a whole lot of action, like meaningful action. Those Harbingers were dropped off on this upper plateau and have taken out this position for Toka. He needs to retreat or at least build some more units to deal with this. He is pushing with units from Telemazer forward against Kyle and Kane in the middle. I wouldn't be surprised to see these forces out from the Rust player of of Locks to come either from behind or just go straight forward. I think that's what he's doing. These forces from Kane still pushing this production base, taking out those Harbingers. Very good grab here from Kane's perspective, but he is bearing down a nice brick wall with assisting Aeon Sniper Commander. He has PD in the form of T1 and T2, and that's a lot of firepower coming off of those PD, and now Brick's coming in to assist as well. He needs to retreat for now. Harbinger did make it past a couple of those PD, but needs to keep moving. He doesn't want to be caught unawares, which he will be. Bouncer unit trying to do what he can. Going to miss a lot of those shots, unfortunately for him, and will die for his efforts. In terms of eco, we are at the 20-minute stage almost. Two players have, one of them had to vacate, the other one was killed. And it is Team 1 at 936 versus Team 2's 860, so up about 70 mass a second. And in totals, Team 1 is up about 35,000. And it's starting to pull away for Team 1, but Team 2 still in a fight with this. They've lost a decent amount of their mexes on that front line. So if they were to gain those back, it would jump that number up quite quickly, especially over here down to the south. And those Harbingers made a decent amount of work getting all the way essentially to that main base, almost to the main base here for Toka in the east. Don't see any more like inspiring plays except for this in the middle here. Coming off of Kane, pushed his forces all the way to the west. Huge amount of Corsairs, enough for a snipe coming after these bricks to kill 3 of them. Ritter with his comm trying to push, has that gun upgrade and stealth. Does he have stealth? He has stealth. He doesn't have cloaking. And Corsairs coming once again. There he goes, taking out a couple more bricks. The last one about to suffer the fate of a bunch of missiles running into him and dying. Team 2 is able to deal with that right quick. Loses a couple of mexes, but again, was able to fend off that threat. A huge number of ASFs are guarding those Corsairs. And the comm of Toka goes down to Kane's forces. The bricks were just too much. He pushed too far forward and had to retreat and ended up suffering for it. There are a couple of bricks trying to defend the best they can. But of course, everyone is badly injured because of that comm explosion. And now it's a 5v4 in favor of Team 1. Team 1 really has to push this advantage. They've killed the comm and need to push it. The comm of Telemator is now kind of under threat now. He needs to build some more PD to protect himself. Does have, of course, a couple shields, but it's not really going to go well for Team 1 if they don't press the advantage when they have it, or at least build up defenses and just eco up. Either way is a valid strategy. That gun going really fast up. There he goes. He is up, going for stealth next. Probably will go for nano after that. Kind of surprised he doesn't have any hives next to him to assist with that. There's the stealth, and there goes nano right after that. Look at that. It's almost like I've casted a few of these games before. We have Haichi here to the north, just kind of building his base up, not really doing a whole lot of aggressive plays. He does have a couple forces on the front line, but is more of a support role versus a main frontline tank kind of role. And he has shield, going for heavy shield, wants to make sure his commander is protected. We are at 22 minutes, and it is a 5v4 in favor of Team 1. Let me know down in the comments who do you think is going to win at the current moment. Timestamp it for me if you would be so kind. Like the video if you feel so inclined, and of course, sub to the channel if you haven't already. And for those who have, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I also appreciate those who just watch my videos, just to watch my videos, even if they will never sub. I do appreciate the support in that aspect as well. T3 on the way here for Kane. There are no UEF commanders, so there's no Ravager T3 PD on the cards for anybody. And I wouldn't be surprised to see either some monkeys or chickens be produced here pretty soon. Usually we see about one monkey or one chicken at about 25-ish minutes, kind of around that aspect. We do see a Colossus being built by combined forces, of course, from Telemazer, getting some Aeon tech from his teammate that has now died. but Ritter's in control of those forces. I feel like Ritter should hand those over to Telemazer. It's kind of hard because Telemazer is also microing this base down here, so it's, I don't know. I feel like Ritter might just hold on to those for now, but I don't know. Kind of hard to say because Ritter's in the middle and Telemazer's on the east. Be better if it was kind of the other way around. But we have a force moving into the east here from the player of Hichi. He wants some glory. He wants some action in this game. I don't know if he's going straight for those forces. I think he's going to... No, he's going straight back here, I think. So, maybe? Don't know. There's a line of Harbingers built up to defend this production facility here to the east. Team 1 could build some transports and drop some engineers off to get those mexes. But it does look like maybe they'll just hold this position for now. Yeah, it looks like they're just going to hold that position for now and then secure it later. Engineers on reclaim efforts are being killed off by bricks, but that Colossus is about to stand up. There he goes, last foot on the ground. And now he will turn around and face the enemy. 2 commanders on either side of things, and they still have a ton of Corsairs ready to kill. That thing says Manfet to Seraphim Com. They are aware of that huge horde of 76 Corsairs. That I don't know if that can like one tap Colossus, but I think it'd be close. And we have bricks fighting Harbingers here, and that Colossus is going to lead them into battle. We have Corsairs. I don't know where the comm is on the western side. He's retreated to his main base. Probably a smart move, just so he doesn't get sniped out by those Corsairs. Really quiet on the western front here for both teams. We have a couple of units on kind of a preliminary defensive offensive role here for Kane on the western side of things. He is pushing on this east, but it does look like the Harbingers will suffer a fate by being killed off by a brick wall. There's not enough firepower here to take care of these bricks. But all those forces for Hichi are retreating. I think they noticed that they noticed that Colossus is en route, so they need to retreat and help protect this position. Crab going to start being built here for Kane here pretty soon. I don't see... Seraphim did build his chicken, so that will help his western front. Assault. I don't see much of... Is that a... It is a strategic missile defense. They are starting to get into that 25-30 minute stage where we see that. I don't know. This doesn't work. You can't get adjacency bonus from allied structures or units. This mass extractor is only getting 18 instead of the 27 it could be getting. I get that it'd be better if Kyle just gifted everything over, but I don't know. I don't know why he just didn't do everything. It's kind of weird. Anyway, I hear some fighting going on somewhere in my left ear. There it is. We have some Othams fighting some bricks. Bricks are outnumbered. Looks like they had a nice engagement. A lot of Othams were killed in that exchange, though. Actually, a lot of them were. But Sniperbot's going to start dealing with those bricks from afar. Very effective units, of course. They just don't have a lot of hit points. That is their downside. I did, in last video, make the chat a little bit bigger, so I can actually see, more text than not just like 4 lines. I can see 6 now. I can see like 7, I think. 7. I can actually see what the heck's going on. What's going on over here? We have ASF fighting some Corsairs, and they went after... I think they just went after the Corsairs, and a lot of them are going to die, to be fair, but there are ASF from Team 2's player of Telemeza to assist. And a lot of there's not a lot left. There are ASF inbound here from Team 1 as well. That number is going down very rapidly. We have Corsairs being built all the time. ASF here for Team 2. It is orange v orange with some yellow and green mixed in there. Of course, if it wasn't for the fact that Orange's base or the Telemazer's base is down here, I would not know what the difference is, of course, because the colors are pretty close. But Team 2 does get the better end of the deal there, and they have a huge amount of ASF advantage. And those Corsairs might be put to work, at least the ones that did survive. A second Colossus is built on the eastern side. Team 1 really needs to find a solution to that. They have a crab. It's in the yellow, so above 25%, but they got to figure out something else. 1 crab is not enough. Quantum Gateway being built here by Hichi. Nice air grid. Already built a portal to build some more gate in some more Rascoms. They're not built. There are other humans, according to the lore. And there goes that engineer being sucked up by those kaiju-looking hands. Is taking everything and leaving nothing remaining. Pushing forward constantly. Looks like it is going to be a... there's a lot of bricks here. And let me turn off all the things so we can get a nice little view of that incoming threat. There aren't a heck of a lot of defenses. You can see those bricks guarded by those colossi. You can see the bricks trying to just form a kind of a horseshoe kind of hooking play. But bricks can't turn their heads and fire in all directions. The first Colossus is going to take a lot of hits, but the second will be able to come in and deal with a lot of this threat. That crab is still being built. Calm of Cain is still there in that base. And the first laser opens up. There goes the brick engagement to the west. They want to minimize the vacuum hands. The Colossus just says, no. I'm going after the bricks first. And there goes the second one coming in to engage. The shields are down. The Colossus has grabbed 2 bricks and is holding them tight. The second and third shields are falling. ASF fight, I think, over the top. We turn the things back on so we can see T1 bombers on approach. Don't care about the mass FAF farms. The first Colossus is down quite handedly by Team 1. Huge amount of hit points are going down. We have Harbingers as well. More of them to the east. Reinforcements are on approach. That crab needs to finish right now. That Colossus is in the yellow. Team 1 has done a heck of a job holding this position. Team 2 has, at least as right now, just mass dumped that Colossus. If they can kill the Calm of Cain, that'd be a nice grab, and I think they will. Cain is under threat, and he is not getting anywhere. Trying to put something in between him and that Colossus, and that is a kill here for Team 2. So even though they didn't really get a whole lot out of that first Colossus, the second one sealed the deal and killed that Calm, dragging this game back to a tie game of 4v4. Team 1 has some ASFs to come in and assist, but the damage is already done. That crab is almost done, to be fair, so it won't take much more mass to finish it off. But Team 2 has done a heck of a job killing a Calm, the highest rated player in the game, and just said, nah, I just did my job. See ya, go take a nap or something. That was a mass donation made comment by Manfet. Yeah, it was. But a lot of those units were, I don't know. It's hard to tell when it's brick on brick action who belonged to what, but when you have a lot of hit points for those bricks, it's very difficult to, really deal a lot of damage. That's why you need like an overwhelming amount of force. Like, that's why I very much enjoy the Perseus, because they have high single fire damage, and so they can deal a lot of those hit points just very quickly and eliminate a decent amount of units before those bricks can kill a couple Perseus. To the west, that chicken doesn't look like it amounted to a whole lot. Looks like it was a chicken on chicken fight, and it just killed each other. There's a murder-suicide situation over there. That Colossus was able to retreat. He has 1 star. He's going to rep up very quickly, very slowly, but at least, it's better than losing the second one. Engineers already on reclaim orders to take that position. We have enemy engineers just kind of roaming next to one another. Not really fighting, just kind of hanging out. And that's really about it. Lots of radar installations here for Team 1 now. I mean, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have an Omni back here behind some wall sections. Very good placement there. Make sure it's not easily accessible. We do have 2 T2 radar installations. You don't need both. This one's going T3, which is actually better because it's further east compared to the other one. You can see the difference between, that's the Omni. They can see almost everything, and then the other one will be able to give them the rest of the vision that they need. But essentially the T2 radar zone is essentially the ring of Omni that the T3, you can see about, I think it's either the exact same or it's pretty doggone close. You can see it's kind of the same. Oh, look, a nice Venn diagram. Look at that. But there is a force from 2 monkeys here for Ritter down the center. And as I'm talking about those radar installations, it looks like at least one of them will be targeted. The second one might just be ignored, but we'll see. But 2 monkeys with a bunch of brick and T1 Medusa support definitely going to hurt Team 1's bottom line in the middle. We have Harbingers on transports with Harbingers walking around. Don't know what that's about. ASF going to fly over the top to help protect and prevent some enemy incursion from air forces, but a lot more Corsairs happen. Oh my goodness, this guy loves Corsairs. Back, he's up 100. 100 Corsairs. He was at 70 at one point. We have some Rascoms now under threat. That monkey is going to tear him a new one, trying to get out of range. That monkey is going to be close, though. Some Cerberus turrets and a heck of a lot of T1 bombers on the way from 2 different players, targeting 2 different monkeys. Not the best idea in that regard. Need to target the same one to really maximize on that damage. But, you know, it's better than nothing, of course. Bricks are just going to tear into these monkeys, though. Again, it's the whole, they have a lot of hit points. It takes a while to chew through it. First monkey is down. The second one, essentially this was, I won't say a mass dump, but pretty close to a mass dump. No, it's a mass dump. Should have taken out some P-gens to help assist with the volatile explosions. That's got to hurt in the middle. Team 1 really gets a nice, you know, grouping of mass donated by Team 2. And I don't see, we see a Paragon being built by Lox up to the north. Very interesting play. That's 30. Now, he's probably started that a couple minutes ago. That is 30 minutes planning on how to end the game. He's going to do infinite resources here for himself, and then probably will build a second one for a teammate. Usually that's the case. I rarely see a second one built because usually the other team sees it and destroys it. But I've seen a second one be built after the first one was destroyed, but rarely do I see 2 active at the same time. So I'd love to see that this game. Mass FAF farms being built here by Kyle to get his eco up and running. Bunch of SAM sites built here for, actually those are T3 direct fire AA. They're not SAMs. But you know, it's just easier to say SAMs, but I know they're not SAMs. But he is loading a missile, a nuclear one at that, and it's almost finished, the first one of the game. I don't see any counter response to that. We have a couple of SMDs protecting some bases. Team 2 is kind of lax on that SMD protection. This one isn't even loaded, so if Team 1 finishes it, it will finish right quickly. You could look at this just Corsair base just pumping stuff out as quickly as he can. This is ridiculous. Look at this. Just doesn't even care about T3, just going T2. Has 2 headquarters that just, I don't know, I mean, it's nice to have backups. But air fight going on the top. There is a Tsar versus a Tsar with a crab built by Team 2 and a crab now finished by Team 1. Took some damage. ASF going into that Tsar will kill it off. Team 2 has 3 crabs and a Colossus that was built a long time ago. Telemazer Commander is just pumping those things out. But the ASF will probably now engage that Tsar. But it does look like Team 1 is starting to get ahead in that ASF production and numbers. The Tsar is starting to retreat, though, but ASFs are going to just force their way in. They don't care about the numbers. They just care about killing that donut. Oh, the hit points are dropping. Team 2 was not able to kill it off. Definitely unfortunate. But 3 crabs with a Colossus in tow. This could be a huge mass dump for Team 1 if they can kill those experimentals. Looks like they're having some trouble. Of course, Team 2 is essentially Team 1 is essentially locking Team 2 out of the air. I think it's time for, I like the Corsair play. I thought it was good, but he hasn't been able to really use them. He needs the ASFs for his team. The first crab is down. Actually, no, that's the other, wait, hold on. What's going on? I can't, Telemazer control Ks. He thinks the game is over. He's lost a lot of experimentals. The Zark is killed off by AA or control Ks, or no, it's killed off by AA. And now that Colossus is going to lead. Ritter gets those experimentals and now owns the entire eastern side. I feel like Telemazer could have been fine. You need units, man, says Lox. I mean, yeah, he needs units. There is an invasion of a chicken with Autumn and Sniper bot support. He does have a assisting Colossus coming in to intercept, but HTTP control Ks as well. He wanted to do Corsair play and isn't really going his way in that regard, so it is now essentially Ritter and Colloquial Klaus versus Team 1. It is 4v2, and the nuke is launched. Worst Mega Micro in a long time. That Mega is down. Wait, is the Mega? Where'd the Mega go? Oh, Mega's over here. There's that nuke going. It's going across the middle, going after Ritter's base, and he does have PD2 defense. Sorry, SMD, and he has an artillery installation online. building a second one as we speak at 36 minutes, man. We have Paragons, we have nukes, we have artillery, we have a bunch of experimentals fighting one another. At 36 minutes, that's really good so far. Hopefully the action keeps up like this for the rest of the game. How's that Paragon doing? Speaking of which, it's in the still in the yellow. It's approaching 50%, so it's at 40, a little over 40%. It's not that bad. Colossus versus Chicken. The Chicken almost killed the Colossus though, but the Utashalas will finish it off. As long as the Colossus doesn't walk next to that thing. But the push northward still continues. Bricks, Colossus, and Crabs are on their way. The Crab does get in behind this left Crab here for Team 2's player, Ritter. He will either have to turn around or just keep walking. And it does look like he'll just keep walking. That Colossus is the main kind of battering ram for Team 2's player of Ritter. He needs to get in. That second Zara has been completed and is en route to deal with this push coming off from Team 2. We do see T3 artillery coming off of Seraphim's base. We see that force, essentially what that was assisting the Chicken, divert from that Chicken and go northward. And it's starting to go after this position. The nuke is vulnerable. The artillery is vulnerable. The artillery from Team 2 is raining in on that position as we speak. The Colossus is down for Team 2. The bricks are now there's bricks and like a couple. Oh, actually, there's only one now. The Crabs are now the main threat here. We have a Colossus now chasing the Crab. But these bricks are actually going to be able to do a decent amount of work. Once this donut is finished with them, the Crab actually ignores the Crab, leaves it to the bombers. Now will go after these bricks. The bricks could focus on some calm action with taking out that calm of Hichi. What about to the west? Well, that invasion force wasn't able to puncture the shield to do a lot of damage, but the nuke is almost gone and takes out the artillery, counter artillery here by Team 2. Shield, couple of P-gens and shields go down. Hichi is perfectly fine. Lost some hit points on that shield, but he's fine. And artillery raining in all the time, of course, takes out a decent section of those ASFs. Ouch. Shields trying to be built to protect the T3 headquarters. Another P-gen under threat. That nuke is still not dead. Of course, wasn't able to kill anything because of the enemy SMD from this base. The second artillery has been built. A third one under construction here for Ritter. He's really pulling his weight here in this game. That shield emplacement that was being built has been destroyed. The bricks did a decent amount of work taking out a section of that air grid, and they're building a rapid fire artillery installation, the Salvation. And this game is popping off. A lot of the artillery from Team 2 looks like it was focused on the air grid. How's that Paragon doing? It's above 50%. They're trying to build as many shields. Looks like he's building some air facilities to help. That's not going to help. No, there he goes. I was going to say, probably going to build some to take, or so build some engineers to help repair. But essentially, it's just this nuke, and the nuke is almost going to load. Will it last long enough, though? I don't think so. Shell's still missing just a little bit to the north. Team 1 really struggling now. They've lost essentially an entire player's worth of base. They still have a lot of SAM sites, which is good to just kind of block out some air forces moving in. But we have emissary fire coming off from Team... Actually, it's not emissary. It's Hovatham fire. And now emissary is being built here for Team 2. So Coloca, Klaus, and Ritter getting into that artillery game. That nuke is still alive, by the way. And I think it's going to load, honestly. Like, Team 2, they know the nuke exists. They know it's not dead. They haven't killed it yet. Kind of disappointing. They're targeting the nuke here to the east that was built by Kyle. Kyle, under threat, has a decent amount of shields, but is starting to suffer. Has a couple of gaps in there. We have, again, very volatile structure over here with a bunch of P-gens and mass fabricators. That donut is going somewhere. I don't know where it's going. 2 comms standing next to a in the green Paragon. Again, not the best place to stand if that thing blows up. That nuke will finish and will launch. That is very surprising. But that artillery just trying to do what it can to just limit Team 1's ability to fight, at least in the air, or have a decent set of eco. But once that Paragon finishes, Team 1's player of Locks will just have all that he needs. That nuke is finished. Launch the nuke before it blows up. Please launch the nuke. Seraphim.com, please launch the nuke. I don't want to see that blow up. And the fact that it didn't blow up to begin with, and the fact that it loaded is, just very, very lucky. Artillery raining in, taking out some Pigeons. There goes a section of that shield grid. There goes a huge section of mass FAF farms for 2 different players. Team 1's player of Kyle is struggling to keep those shields online. Aeon shields are not great. And that thing isn't launched yet. Again, disappointing. We have counter artillery here from Team 1. It is a rapid fire artillery installation of the Salvation variety. Going after this position, there's only 1 shield. It's being assisted. Seraphim shields are the best shields in the game. I am so very grateful for shields in this game. Fall back to yesterday's video's thumbnail. But this base has been essentially, not annihilated, but torn asunder. A large amount of infrastructure is gone. Will that salvation from Team 1's player of Hichi make the difference? The shields are coming online and staying online. Additional shields are being built as we speak. That nuke has still not been launched. It's not. Please launch the nuke. Is that Paragon finished? It is about to finish. I'm going to watch it come online. There, 70, 80, 90. It is 100. That Paragon is now active. Team 1's player of Locks has limitless resources at his disposal. That shield is starting to suffer. If these Pigeons explode, it might overwhelm the shield's capacity. It's very close here. It does look like the artillery has targeted that salvation and has killed it. Team 1 was not able to vanquish that artillery here from Team 2's player of Klaus. And the nuke that Team 1 had would not really do much of anything. They need to launch it, though. It's still there. They could use it for something. There it goes. It is up in smoke. They were building an emissary as well. Team 1's player of Locks is starting a second one. Where are your salvations? Where are you? Oh, no, not from there. Team 1 has launched the nuke, but it's from the player of Kyle. Pings go down, I think, from Team 2. Actually, where is that nuke? No, I saw it. No, it's from Team... Okay, it's just hiding in the yellow. There, it's going to this position. Oh, good. Seraphim does launch that nuke there. That is very good. Looks like it is going for the artillery. The shields are down, but they need to be down like a couple minutes ago here for Team 1. Here comes the inbound nuke. Second one inbound as well. The SMD shoots his first missile, takes that one down. We'll shoot the second one off. This position is protected. We have a crab in the middle, but that Paragon is online. Team 1 needs to pump out as much as they can. Yes, build shields, build more shields, and build even more shields. Need to get that done ASAP. This position is now suffering from combined artillery fire, I think, from both players on Team 2. Yep, it is combined. And Kyle is really suffering here. Shield trying to stay online. There goes that horde of Oblivion turrets just out the window. That nuke is down. Dawson has lost his shield. Starting to struggle. You can see the wreckage of the nuke. There goes the wreckage of it. It has gone to the wilds. Dawson is under threat. He's under 3,000. And there he goes. Player eliminated by artillery bombardment by Ritter and by Klaus. Ritter does claim the kill. It is now a 3v2 in favor still of Team 1. We are at 43 minutes and 36 seconds. The second Paragon is on its way. And it's already at 750 hit points, which is pretty good. Decent amount of hit points so far. Massive amounts of air facilities are being pumped out and quantum gateways as well. Team 1 wants to scale their eco even more. Look at this. Look at this effort. Just pumping out eco, and looks like they're going for restorers versus ASFs. Team 1's player of Seraphim Com has kind of started to reclaim this position. Needs to get a shield over that T3 strategic missile launcher, and that thing's almost ready for another one. Again, very surprising that Team 1 did not kill it, but Team 2 is now targeting the base of Hichi. Takes out a mass storage. They're trying to pump out another emissary. Not the best idea with a couple of severely damaged pigeons next to it. No, not the best idea. We have donuts starting to roam the map. More being built all the time, of course, by both players on Team 1. But that artillery is raining in on Hichi's position. A lot of it is missing, though, but pings go down for that comm to probably move, and he needs to move it underneath shield coverage. Nice shot there, taking out that mass fab. Ichi has taken some hit point damage, and I think are the artillery targeting him directly? No, I don't think so. He is trying to move out of the way though, which is, you know, very important to do. We have a donut killing another crab here on that eastern side. And the monkey lord trying to do its best to kill that crab. But I think that crab will kill the monkey before the laser. Why did you stop firing? Why did you do that? That was weird. That a lot of shield coverage. A third artillery for Team 2's play of class. This time another emissary. And they are really raining in on Hichi's position. No, they are targeting that comm directly. Look at that. Oh, that's gotta hurt. Is there a Halthum over here on this eastern side? There's 2 emissaries for Ritter and a third one. Oh my goodness. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 with 2 more on the way. We have possibly 10 artillery installations for Team 2. And they are raining in on 1 commander. Hichi, I'm sorry to say, but you are screwed, my friend. That is gonna hurt and that is targeting you directly. You must be honored. 8 artillery installations are targeting you. There's a Paragon online, and does Team 2 know about it? They don't, which is very surprising. That's why they're not targeting it. But man, that comm, they know, of course, you can see on their vision, that comm is going to die, has no hit points. There he goes. It is now a 2v2 scenario here for Team 1 and Team 2. Last remaining players are Blocks at 1500, Seraphim comm at 12, Ritter at 16, and Colloquial Klaus at 1300. Large group of restorers with a laser, with a donut, and a bunch of T1 support as well. Team 1 has a nice ASF, nice Air Force, a decent Air Force, couple of donuts as well. That donut died over there. Team 1's forces are kind of just sitting there for now. When will Team 1 notice the Team 2 notice the Paragon? Well, they know a group of units. They have a spy, not a spy. They have an eye. They see the Salvation being built. That should have been built like 5 minutes ago. The second Paragon is over 50% completed, and more Salvations are prepped. Team 1 wants to end this game with artillery. And here comes that Air Force moving in. Lots of lightning tanks have been moved over, and a huge ASF force moving in to assist. Going to be a nice air fight here. That's a lot of AA coming off of those gunships. More ASF are needed. That's a nice restore ball. They're going after the SMD, I would assume, and they will get it for sure. That's a lot of AA to get through, though. There it goes. It's gone. They're targeting the the direct fire anti-air defenses as we speak, but a lot of them have already been destroyed. That ball is being whittled down quite heavily, and there it goes. They're not going to really do much of anything else. The nuke will launch. There's no SMD or backup one to protect it, so these 3 artillery emplacements, or 2.5, will go down. The donut will go down. Doesn't need to charge in with the nuke. That's just mass dumping at that point. It's going to hurt. Takes out a couple of anti-air defense. That nuke will launch. More restorers are on their way. They have taken out the Salvation. Do they know the existence of the Paragon? They kind of figured it's the Paragon, but considering all the shields around it, we do see secondary units of the Asylum variety just kind of hover around the Paragon. A lot of them are dying. The shield emplacements are falling as fast. Take a hit. No, the Paragon has taken a hit. Those restorers have been dealt with. The nuke launches, lands, kaboom, takes out everything that was there. Team 2 has lost 2 artillery with 1 on the way. And now they still have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I think it was 5, 6, 7? 5, 6, and then possibly a 7. So Team 2 still has 6 artillery installations online. Team 1 is struggling to keep both of those online, and they're super close together. But it's not like one's on the other side of the map. It's just right there. They are building Salvation over here to the east. Let's see if they will get that online, though. They're building shields first. Probably a smart play. The comm of Seraphim comm is literally in the corner of the map, trying to hide out. Look at this. Standing at the edge of infinity, essentially. But 2 Paragons. The shield is down around the Paragon. It comes back online. This is a very, very stressful situation here. 2 Paragons next to each other, side by side. Looks like they're not focusing. Let's see, what are they doing? Have they stopped? They've stopped firing on the No, they have. Okay. I just wondered where all the artillery. They're not firing on the Paragon anymore. They're firing on the T3 air bases. Very interesting. Another horde of restorers are on their way to try to kill those artillery emplacements. I don't blame them for that. But, I mean, but Salvations would do that in a heartbeat, especially if you build like 4 of them. But a lot of those restorers have gone down. They're trying to target the shields, do what they can. But again, those restorers are just being eviscerated by Team 2's ASF and air defenses. They can't catch a break. Another donut is on its way. And what is this? There's a Scathus. So Team 2 has their own game render in the form of a Scathus. And it's targeting air grid? That's weird. How are those Paragons doing? Well, a lot of those air bases to the east have been dealt with. But that second Paragon will finish 2 Paragons. And I repeat that for everyone just listening. There are 2 Paragons currently on screen right now. Both of them are finished. And I'm not saying both of them, are on the way, both of them or whatever, but 2 Paragons have... I hear an I'll-Wash a bomber in the distance, but two Paragons. But never mind, one of them dies. Literally as I'm saying something, the first one does go down. I think I got a screenshot of that. We have Scathus Fire also coming in to assist. The comm of Lox needs to get out of there now. If he stands next to that Paragon, he will die. We have efforts from Team 1 to try to invade a huge amount of monkeys, Colossus, crabs were definitely used. They just can't break through. Team 2 has a couple of crabs until a second Scathus under construction. This guy has 3 artillery here, 4 artillery here. Jeez, and 1 Scathus building a second one. Team 2, they went for the end game. Still the Team 1, but an infinite structure producing resources. Sorry, 2 structures that can infinitely produce resources. You don't have anything to fight back with. Essentially, it's just income that you can't spend. It's like having $1 million in the bank and not actually spending it. The money's there, cool, but if the bank explodes, there goes your money. If it's in like a physical bank. Chickens and Chickens and Colossus moving forward, taking out the Omni Station. ASF now charging into Team 1's main base with a bunch of course, SAM sites and Czar, and now that's going to die. There it goes. Crash land on top of some engineers. They can just reclaim that right away. But why would you when you have a Paragon? Lox, I mean, I think he's out of the... I'd get a little bit further away if I was him. But now it's just artillery wars here for Team 2. There's nothing fighting back. Team 1 does have a Salvation and an Emissary under construction, but they need... And they have a Scathus, and a Disruptor. Building 4 different types of artillery. 2 of them are experimental. 1 of them is a game ender. But just Team 2 is just eradicating whatever existed of Team 1's whatever base, Rascoms, whatever it may be. They are targeting everything. Look at the art. Look at the yellow dots. Look at all those artillery shells landing. That's ridiculous. We have some shields trying to hover around that old Paragon. They can see the comm, and they can see the Paragon, of course, so they know it exists. They're just leaving it for now. Maybe the order to attack was just stuck on that position, I think. Maybe they haven't given them new orders. Maybe they're focused on other things. But we have a threat from Team 1. There is 4 monkeys who have taken out this base of artillery here for Team 2. A huge grab by Team 1. They needed that. Relieve some of that artillery pressure. But it's probably a little too late on that with, of course, the Scathus and the second Scathus underneath essentially the same shield. That is a lot of artillery, and that is launching direct... Oh, is it launching on that second Paragon? Now they're targeting the Paragon. And those emissaries are firing. Very effective at taking out shields, of course. If there was a UEF player on Team 2, I would hope that they would have built a Maver for this. Because building 2 Scathus, I mean, why would you not build a Scathus and a Maver right next to each other? But 3 monkeys are on their way with a couple of bombers taking out some air grid here for Team 2. Team 1 trying to claw their way back, taking out the rest of that air grid. They are making some waves, but that Paragon is under threat. Shields are going down. Oh, Ritter to control K's, thinking his game is over. But here comes the artillery. We have a transport in, probably going to grab the comm. Is he going to make it out of there? Artillery raining in, of course, all the time. Kills some of those RAS comms. The comm, will he get away? Oh, shields are going down constantly. He gets on top of that transport, and he dies. Oh, he's so close to evacing out of there. That kill does go to Colossal. He did lose both of those Scathis. The second one did not build in time. That has got to hurt. Team 1 is trying to claw its way back. Seraphim has built an experimental teleporter on the way here for him as well. And this game has switched. It was a 2v2 for a while. Now it's a 1v1. I don't feel like Ritter should have controlled K. I think he was fine. I don't... Locks, this was truly epic. Yes, it was, says Kane. That definitely was a, essentially two Scathis versus 2 Paragons. And the Paragons lasted a lot longer than I thought they would. Just make Artie first. Use Strat to protect Comm. Scathis to assist shield. Scathis is here somewhere. Obviously it's somewhere if you can see the artillery fire from it. But Team 1 has the the Salvation built. They are struggling with power since the loss of that Paragon. Oh, what's his power look like? Oh, he is really struggling. Is he teleporting away? He is teleporting away, I think. He has the... No, he's building the teleporter. We have some bombers coming in to deal with those T1, T2, T3, T4 units, but I think Team 2 knows where he was. Yes, they do. Here come those Spectre gunships, and that is a kill here for Team 2, making this game a victory for Team 2. Klaus ends up winning the game, and Team 1 just finishes the Scathis. It was launching fire on those units coming in to intercept his commander. But at the end of everything, with 2 Paragons, essentially 2 Scathis, or Scathi, whatever, however you pronounce it, we have 1 Salvation, 1 Colossus, not Colossus, I keep saying Colossus, 1 Scathis built, and the emissary was almost done, so I'll count that. With 3 emissaries built, with some monkeys on their way to kill them. That was, you can actually see the... Oh, I was thinking it was a move order, but there's not. And we had units coming in from the north. A bunch of monkeys here for Team 1 coming into this base. The comm of Klaus was underneath 1 shield. And it was essentially just bare bones. Not bare bones, but essentially Team 2 had a severe amount of loss towards the end of the game. I think with the departure of Ritter, a lot of the, APM was taxed. The defenses were starting to fall because of that. Just how many monkeys did Seraphim have? He had 24 Monkey Lords on the field currently, and he was building 5 of them, so 18. He had 18 active Monkey Lords on the map. So he could have just run over everything else. More monkeys down here, of course, but I think because Team 2 knew the location of Seraphim's commander, it really just didn't matter. But that was the game. That was a crazy match. 2 Paragons active at the same time in the same thumbnail. So that will be the thumbnail of the video, is the 2 Paragons. Let me know how you felt about the match with a comment down below. Like the video if you did. And of course, if you haven't hit that sub button, I would greatly appreciate it. And in terms of underrated player of the game, I don't know. That's, I mean, let's see. I'm not going to, I think Ritter did a very good job holding off everything once he inherited everything from Telemazer. Telemazer did a very good job as well. We had Klaus did an amazing job with the artillery, of course. I mean, obviously he was the last man standing. We had player of Locks build 2 Paragons, which I will comment he should have built some Salvations first and then gone after the second Paragon. So that way, he could spend the mass and kill the enemy artillery quicker, which would have cemented those Paragons staying alive. So, I don't know. I don't know who to give it to, because some players left when they really didn't need to. Like Ritter left when he didn't really need to. And he, wasn't near anything. He wasn't shot by anything. So I don't know. I feel like maybe giving it to Klaus because he did hold out for so long on this western side when his first teammate of I think it was Wacko Control Cade, and he held that front line. Lost some, gained some, but I think I'll give it to him. He had this base of artillery that lasted for a very long time. Took out a horde of restorers constantly. So I think I'm going to give it to Colloquial Klaus for the underrated player of the game. Let me know if I am right or wrong or you have a different opinion. And of course, thank you so much for watching, and I will see all of you in the next one.